having an ePortfolio is a pretty professional thing to do. It's not just a school thing. People outside of school have ePortfolios, and it helps them. I started thinking, well, maybe this could be more than just a school requirement. Maybe if I put more time into it, I could get more out of it. The process of, collecting up all my work from my general education courses, I think it definitely helped me take a step back and look at the bigger picture of what they were requiring of us in general from general education. I think they definitely want us to be well-rounded individuals, right? Like, if you're an engineer, you also have to have political opinions, and if you're a writer, you should probably know a thing or two about math. Collecting it all in the ePortfolio, you can start to make connections in between like your writing requirements with like a humanities class, so you start to see how things are interconnected. Well, I think the pages in the ePortfolio that best show like my growth and learning would probably be the learning outside the classroom page, like the internship page that I had there. It was a chance for me to really start applying everything I had learned up until that point. Like in your writing courses, you're asked to do memoirs, you're asked to do investigative reports, and you have to reflect on, not just what you've read, but what you think about it as well. There was one reflection that I had to turn in for my English 2010 class. I remembered that we just had to, in general, reflect on how we had progressed as writers, and I remember just thinking that I was really impressed with myself, just like coming from grade school and just doing like maybe 1-page essays with like a few paragraphs to ending up with large reports that could have like maybe single space 7-10 pages worth of opinions on very broad subjects. And in the reflection I mentioned too that I was most proud of like how far I'd come as a writer in general, just being able to be opinionated about something. I was probably most proud of that. One thing I definitely like that faculty members do on ePortfolios is when they don't require it to just be a report or an essay posted onto your ePortfolio. When they make it something that's interactive, although essays are great, but if you involve students in doing something more than just that, like making a video or an audio clip to post that instead, I think it definitely helps the student, because then it makes their ePortfolio much richer. They'll have the multimedia part in it. What you put into it is what you'll get out of it, definitely. If you want it to just be something that's only for credit and you want it to just be a file dump, it's what it'll be. You'll get your credit, but it'll end just there. So if you take the time and you really put work into it, you'll get so much more out of it, and you'll have something that you can actually show to others. I was really glad I stuck with it. I was really glad that it is a requirement.